Hello, Umar. Hi, how are you?
Hey Mustafa, I'm good. Thank you very much for having me. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's a pleasure having coming on your channel, and I think it's a brilliant initiative that you have, especially for people like us, and taking our voice to the world.
Yeah, it is very much needed, Ji, because being from a Pakistan, I understand there are a lot of great resources sitting, and they are doing great work across the globe. I think
Of
it's
course.
a right time for me as well, as you know that I'm doing another podcast which is called as Let's Talk About Data, where we have a reach of around 30 plus countries. So the idea came to my mind, why not? Why not to bring our people onto the global arena and see how it goes. So tell us about yourself because our audience doesn't know you, Umar. I think we never got a chance to invite you, which I am going to invite you after this on our actual flagship channel. So tell us about yourself. Who are you? Where were your education? How you started your career? And let's go from there.
Yeah, so Mustafa, I think the audience by now knows my name is Umar Kazmi. I'm born and bred in Lahore. All my education is in Lahore. I started my career back in Lahore as well. Um, Data was computer sciences, I would say, because that was many years ago. That was probably over 2 decades ago. It was computer sciences back then. It was a passion. My whole family comes from the finance background, and I was the first person actually in my whole family to step out of the financial comfort zone and try something new. So completed my bachelor's and master's back in 2003, and that is when I started my career with a software house. I think these guys were very innovative back then in the early 2000s. The company was QRMD. They were application service providers back then for healthcare industry, and they were hosting that application in a data center and providing that as a SaaS service back
Uh,
then when nobody actually heard about what SaaS is. So that is one innovation that actually came in from Pakistan as well. Then I spent about good 10 years with telecommunication, worked in different roles. Initially, I was part of the billing team, got a good chance to work on the billing systems, the Nokia Siemens platforms, the Ericsson platforms, the IRBs, the Siebels, and the Genevas of the world. Um, Good 10 years experience over there. Changed it when I left Telecom. I was the head of data warehouse, advanced analytics, and campaign operations. Then I switched gears, and that was an intentional change for me. By the way, a lot of people ask me. I moved from the customer side to the vendor side. It was intentional. I call it out very specifically because I always planned in my career that I want to learn both sides of the world, not just one side. I wanted to understand how the vendor sides work, and that's why I opted to join IBM. Stayed there for about 7, 8 years. Then stayed with Informatica. Joined Informatica here in Dubai, and then a few months ago, I switched gears, changed, and joined Click Talent. A lot of people know about Click, but not a lot of people know that talent is also part of us. So it's a very exciting journey that I have. And one of the things that when I go and have conversations with the customers, what resonates the most is that I have experience on the customer side as well as on the vendor side. And during this tenure, I think I was lucky to get my hands dirty with a lot of different technologies. Teradatas of the world, Netizas of the world, Clouderas, and now all the cloud technologies as well. And that resonates a lot with the customers that I have a very comprehensive technology background as well as I have the customer experience as well. So in a nutshell, this is what I've done in about last 25 years. Right now, I'm based in Dubai, a very competitive place.
yeah.
I'm working as a solution architect for Middle East, Africa, CIS territory, which is Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, etc., and Turkey. Of course, Pakistan is always very dear to me, so I'm covering Pakistan as well.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So let's go one step back towards your education because the projection for Pakistan across the globe, I think education sector is something. which is nobody is aware that what we are doing. And we know that there are some amazing universities and colleges are there, and they are producing some very good IT folks. So tell us about education sector in Pakistan, how they are doing in producing IT folks.
So I'll not go in the schools as such. Schools are
Yeah. Oh,
obviously
yeah.
great.
Too junior, yeah.
Yeah, it's too junior, but I'll go in the at the university
Yeah.
level. Uh, the I'll start it in this way, and I always highlight that is there shouldn't be any disconnect between the industry and the academia, right? They should be aligned of what is needed in the industry, not just at the local scale, at the national scale, but at the international scale. What are the skills which are needed? And that is generally complemented by the combination of academia professionals as well as the industry professionals, right? So we got this chance of working of learning from actually both the sides of the world, right? We were getting the academia uh, knowledge that we needed to start, as well as we were having sessions with people coming in from different software houses, different large organizations, MNCs, having sessions with us on how the technology is driving those industries, how the actual real world implementation of technologies are done. And I still remember one of the conversation which was very inspiring for me, and which actually uh, convinced me to go into what I'm doing right now was one of the instructors was working with one of the largest bottling company in Pakistan, right? And he was heading the data warehouse. And it was something really new for us. What do you mean by data warehouse? And then they started explaining it to us that this is what we are doing, this is how we do it, this is how we bring in the data. And back then it was just a descriptive analytics piece, but it was an inspiration understanding how the industry is actually utilizing these technologies. And I think, again, I'm saying it what was there many, many years ago, but still a lot of universities which are producing good students, which are becoming good professionals, are getting that experience from the industry as well as the academia. Academia, again, I highlighted, they are aligned with what the world needs, what the international market demands, right? So that is very important to understand. It's not just at the national level, but at the international level, what the demand is.
Actually, you're right. I've seen because I'm in Malaysia right now, and surprisingly, whenever I talk to uh, some data and AI company, and trust me, like 80% out of 100, the chief data scientist is from Pakistan. I was
Yeah,
super surprised. In
yeah, yeah, of
Malaysia,
course.
in Singapore, in Thailand, in Indonesia, many companies I've talked. And end of the day, either there's a girl sitting over there from Fast University or from a ComSci University.
Yeah.
So they are there. I think we are disconnected, I would say. And I think this small initiative from my end, who knows, it'll make things connect to each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. What we are doing in Pakistan is very innovative. A lot of companies have developed components in a larger product field, or even at the product level, they have developed a few things which has not been broadcasted
Yeah.
rightly at the global level, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of skill, there's a lot of talent that is sitting there. Again, people like you and me, we moved out, right?
Yeah.
But still, there's a huge talent that is still there in Pakistan, which needs to be, I'll use this word advertised,
Yeah.
marketed in the global markets, which is, I think, very important. And people should know that we are right up there, as we say in the product world, that we are in the magic quadrant. So our resources are there in the magic quadrant when it comes to technology.
Actually, somebody asked me that actually couple of hours back, I was meeting a CEO in Malaysia. So I told him the same thing, but he said, why the hell these guys don't come out? I told
Yeah,
him that because we are supporting Europe and America, and Pakistani folks are getting a very
yeah,
handsome salary over there, right? That is
yeah,
one
yeah,
of the reasons they don't move out. But the thing is, as you mentioned, their skill set is right up there. It's all
yeah,
about bringing them onto a channel, onto an arena where people can see, hey, these
Yeah.
guys are there, and you know this agentic AI, because I always keep saying that agentic AI is kind of a change in a global market, just like computer was born, just like cloud was born. I think agentic AI is going to change the whole horizon in the same way. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. And this whole horizon of the AI world is changing the way we used to implement technology. And the biggest change is how the companies are adopting to these technologies, how they are using that to optimize their business processes, how they are using it to identify new potential in the market. And uh, these specific agentic AI capabilities trust me, they're not eating away the jobs, but
Yeah,
they're
no.
actually creating. There's a misconception. I specifically highlighted that, but I think this innovation is going to drive the business a lot. Again, in all terms, in most of the discussions that I have with my customers around agentic AI and AI use cases that they are deciding to implement, or they've already implemented. And I think, Mustafa, you will agree, you've been in the same field, that most of these use cases are for operational efficiencies,
Yeah,
optimizing their processes, right? Very few organizations have started utilizing it for innovative product line, right? And it will continue. And I think that's the whole purpose of agentic AI implementations, right? Now, the second thing, from the implementation perspective of these agentic AI, there's a resource of pool that you need who understands how
to
to
drive
implement
that.
that,
Yeah.
right? To drive that, right? And you need them from the ownership perspective and from the technology perspective, right? So I'll say one very specific thing from the technology perspective: the type of quality of resources. Again, we are going back to the subject, the
Mhm.
type of resources that we are producing back in Pakistan, specifically in data and AI field and implementation of agentic AI. I think they can beat both of us on the
Yeah, yeah,
technology,
true, true.
and and the only way that we can beat them is with our experience. That's it.
Yeah,
But they understand that technology a lot better than we do, right? But going back to these agentic AI use cases, there are two things that I go in and specifically talk to my customers. Is one, that you need to have an owner of the whole idea that you are
practice, whole
implementing.
practice. Yeah.
Who's going to own that, right? And
Yeah.
generally, those owners are coming in from the business side because they are trying to address a problem that they have, right?
Mhm.
The second problem that I tell them while they are implementing this is not to forget about data quality. Never forget about that. It's a very simple statement that I tell them to convince them: if you don't have the right data quality, either you'll be completely wrong or you'll get lucky. There is no third way about it, right? And the third thing that I generally talk to my customers is, please do not enforce silos of data when you are implementing AI use cases, because these are very specific departmental use cases that you are trying to implement. So you tend to go and use the data sets contextualized to your data, which is owned by your organization, not at the enterprise level. So we always go in, when we started having these conversations around data warehouse, we used to say that we are not going to create any data silos. We are going to consolidate everything. And I think this is the same message that I generally give to my customers when they are approaching AI use cases or agentic AI use cases, that please do not enforce the data silos. Go at the enterprise level, use the enterprise data to deliver these use cases for your organization.
That's good, right? So apart from agentic AI, where do you so when you were in Pakistan, I think you were, as you mentioned, you were in telcos, then you jump into IBM, and then you moved out. So what
Yeah.
difference do you see the working style over there and over here?
Right. So It's not an umbrella statement that I can give you, but I can tell you industry specific statements, industry specific observations that I had. Some some industries like telecom, what we delivered about 15 years ago, the use cases that we delivered in data specific, not the AI back at that time. It was more of a predictive and prescriptive analytics than
Yeah.
AI. The use cases that we delivered, there are customers in the region who are discussing those use cases now. And I'm telling you because I was in one part of the world yesterday. I came back this morning, and I was having a conversation with this telecom team, and they started highlighting me the issues. There's some issues, five, six issues, and they said that we'll need your advice on how to address that. It was not on a tool level, but it was more of an approach that they asked me. And when they started explaining me, I was like, we did it 15 years ago. Uh, why are they asking me this question now? So we did a lot of innovative stuff in telecom. We have done a lot of innovative stuff in banking, in oil and gas. I think there are two specific industries which have started picking up in the last couple of years is government sector and the retail industry. And retail only because of COVID that they realized that they cannot survive without that, right? So
Mhm.
these are the two industries that started picking up in last couple of years. But all the other banking, you pick up banking, you pick up telecom. We've been doing innovative stuff for many years ago. We've delivered innovative solutions many years ago, which the other part of the region, my region where I'm working, they're thinking about now. As well as there's another thing that I'll highlight because you asked me a question, how do you compare my experience
Yeah.
back in Pakistan versus my experience in the region? So, see, in the experience that we acquire in Pakistan is again with the likes of you, with the
Hmm.
mindsets like yours, right? Or some internet research or whatever you've been told by your incumbent partners, right? But when you come into the region, specifically in regions like Dubai or Singapore or Malaysia, you'll find people from all across the world. They have different experiences. So the simplest statement that I can give you: you come out of your tunnel vision, you
Yeah.
start looking at the horizon much better. um, it gave me a lot of a lot of insights of how people in different parts of the world are dealing with different type of problems, how they are innovating solutions to address the simplest of problems, right? So it's a good perspective, but at the same time, it's a very competitive situation,
Hmm.
right? Rather than competing at the national scale, now you are competing at an international scale, and it becomes the survivor for the fittest. So you need to keep yourself updated with technology. You need to keep up with the industries as well, because for my role, I go in and I talk to different industries. I need to understand what those industries do, what are the innovations happening in those industries. So it's a lot of competitive situation, but at the same time, it's a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge that you gain in this region. And again, before we started this session, we were highlighting that the learnings that we are getting, you and me, we can take it back, and we can tell others the learning that we had back in Pakistan. We can advocate that we have it in a global forum.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I think we are already there around 15, 20 minutes. So I won't drag it more than 5, 10 minutes because we want to keep it shorter, 20
Sure.
to 30 minutes. So what are your suggestions or advices for new folks coming from Pakistan? Because I do see that, as we just discussed, that sitting in Pakistan, we are supporting Europe and America region, and because of that, we are getting a lot of good salaries in Pakistan. You know, Umar, when we were there, our salaries were peanut.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, of course.
now salaries are 100 times more as compared to when
Yeah,
we were doing internships.
yeah,
So, what are your?
yeah.
I do see when people take interviews for kids over there. they end up
Hmm.
failing in the interview, not because of technology, not because of technical interview, but financial and all. So, what is your advice? How to, you know?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to have mentors all
Mm,
across my career. And when I started my career, early 2000s, one of the things that my mentor told me, and I will convey the same message to all the youngsters who are listening to this session, be it they are at the beginning of their career or even mid-career, there's one thing that we need to do is how to glorify our work.
mm,
We need to do that. And generally, it is taught that how do we glorify ourselves within the organization, right? But we need to take a step back and we need to start thinking about how do we glorify our thoughts, our work that we have done on a greater scale. Now we have so much of social media available. Back then, when Mustafa, you and me started our careers, there was nothing, right?
nothing.
So the only option for us was to, write emails within the organization or do some lectures in the universities or sit at coffee shops and brag about the work that we have done, right? But now the advice that I will give to all the youngsters is please, whatever your thought processes are, whatever you have achieved, please take it at the global level. Start telling the world that what you have achieved, be it the smallest of things. Don't shy away from that. That's still an innovation that you have done, right? The other thing that for the students, there's so many things that I would like to talk about, but I think we'll keep it for some other time. But for the recruiters, for the companies who are looking into or interviewing candidates from Pakistan, I can tell you that their technology acumen is far superior than other resources available in the region. That I can bet for. Please do not quantify the communication acumen. That's a learning that every one of us goes through, right? We went through, Mustafa, you went through. It's the technical acumen that is there that you need to exploit. As part of the employer, it's your responsibility as well to groom them, right? Because they're entering into the profession. So part of that responsibility lies towards you, part of the responsibility lies towards them. But my suggestion is, if you're interviewing people who are at the beginning of their careers, please evaluate them on their technical acumen, their technical skill, than the soft skills. Soft skills comes with time, and again, as I said, it's both responsibility, not just one person.
Yeah, and I think at the same time, we need to tell our folks back in Pakistan when they are going into an interview,
Of
they
course.
need to talk about more about why they did it. So we know that
Exactly.
there is a why, how, and what. I think when people are coming from technology world, they always and they are developers and they are architect. They moreover talk about technology and what piece, right? How
Yeah.
they were going to do it. They never talk about why. So I think that is
Yeah.
one of the learning they do it once they go in an interview. They should tell
Yeah.
them why they did it and what is the benefit the organization got or business got. Start from
Yeah.
there and train
Yeah.
yourself because now
Yeah.
chat eye is there. Chat when I say chat eye, it's chat GPT or Gemini or
Correct.
Grok.
Yeah.
Go and use that as your mentor. Actually, these tools are very good if you convert, ask them to become your mentor.
Yeah. Of course, I
These tools are
100% agree with you on
very
that.
very good onto that. So I
Yeah.
think yeah, please go ahead.
I 100% agree with you on that. And Mustafa, as we were discussing, there's a lot that we need to convey to our youth as well, who are
Yeah.
coming out of the universities. And probably some point in time, whenever Mustafa and I have some time, we will definitely do a session of for the youngsters. But for the youngsters, the second advice, and Mustafa rightly highlighted, is that whenever you are doing something, you're developing any technology, there's always a reason behind it, why you are doing it. And that why is generally a business benefit that you will get out of that piece, right? So understand that why first before you start developing that part. That will help you develop a business acumen, right?
Mm.
That is very much needed when you progress in your careers.
Okay, last question, which I'm going
Yes.
to ask all my guests in this podcast. Where do you see it's a very, very obvious and very boring and repetitive question everybody asks. Where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
It's a very interesting question, and why? By the way, this question is always asked at the end of the interview.
Is it?
It's the
It's not
first
an
time that I'm
interview.
hearing that in a
No, it's not an
podcast.
interview. It will be something
Yeah,
that
of
will
course.
show your vision, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So, where do I see myself in next few years? I always keep short-term objectives for my career. I always keep long-term objectives for my career. And at the beginning, I did mention that it was a deliberate move from the vendor customer side to the vendor side, right? So I plan that. Coming 4 to 5 years, there are two sides of every professional. One is developing their whatever they do. That's the knowledge that they need to develop. We both work in data and AI. A lot of innovation is happening. A lot of things are happening. So I'll keep on learning these skills. On the other side, I see myself as an industry expert on not just one side, but a couple of industries. But what is more important for me, because see, I'm almost in the middle of my career now. Where do I see most of my time consumption is giving back to my country, giving back to the kids there that are coming out of the university. I want to give that knowledge back to them so that they can be successful. That's what I foresee myself doing after 4 or 5 years. Obviously, I wish I pray that I'll have enough money to survive my kitchen, and then I'll be able to dedicate more time on that. But yes, that's something that I look at. It's a social responsibility on all of us. So for the next 3 4 years, I'll probably not be dedicating a lot of time for that. But after 5 years, I'll probably more dedicate more time towards the skill development from my country than not just my country, but at the global level. But um, than being myself, right?
Okay, that's good. That's good. Umar, I think it was a great session, and I expect nothing less than that. What we have you have said in this session. Pleasure and thanks for taking out time. And hopefully, I will involve you into all these things which we are doing, and I hope we are able to give back something.
Thank you very much, Mustafa, for having me. It's a pleasure, and hope I'll be able to jump on more sessions with you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.